Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm so glad to be back after the holidays. My last video, if you didn't check it out, was kind of like a shop with me on the e.l.f. Cosmetics website on the What's New section, which I'm going to be doing on occasion on different sites. Let me know if you guys like that. So today's video is going to be the first video in a series I'm going to be doing called Can You Believe I Haven't Tried It? So this is going to be products that a lot of YouTubers have raved about. If I know the specific YouTuber, I will mention them in the video, of course, and link them down below. But I really want to try like OG products that, you know, everyone has seemed to have tried on their channel or have tried just in general that for some reason I never bought or never tried. And generally there is a reason, so I will tell you guys that as well. So disclaimer, I don't look the best right now. I have the lighting down quite low in this room. I don't really have much for lighting, so I'm just working with what I have. And I actually turned it down on my camera because I really want you guys to be able to see what my skin looks like without like anything on it other than kind of skincare. So I always cleanse. I usually use the Drunk Elephant, the Cantaloupe Jelly Cleanser. I really love that cleanser. You guys know I like Drunk Elephant since I started using their line. It is pricey, but it's one of those brands that I really think is worth it. And I usually wear a moisturizer. I usually actually wear first. I put on the C for a Day serum, also from Drunk Elephant. I love that. Moisturizer, I have been using the Clinique like gel Moisture Surge moisturizer. It's okay. I'm not sure if it's my favorite, but I do use that on occasion and it has been working for me. So without me rambling anymore, like I know I look like shit, so if you're looking at me saying that girl should not be doing any type of beauty video, like she looks like absolute garbage, I am sorry, but this is how I look right now. So I am going to actually go ahead and prime my face. So I have been obsessed with, and I just repurchased this, it's just the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. Now you do get, this is silicone free, alcohol free, and oil free, which is really awesome. You get 3.9 fluid ounces or 116 mils. And this is what it looks like. I'm sure you guys have seen this everywhere, but I really like this. I do have more like normal to dry or dehydrated skin, so I find this just works really well. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna spray this on, and then we will get started with the video. Alright guys, so let's get this on our face. Alright, and we'll let that just kind of sit and dry. Now, I find this preps my skin really well. I think this is really good for someone that is in a hurry or has skin like mine. It just kind of gives some moisture back to your skin before you put a foundation on. And depending on what foundation you're using, you may want to use something like this, especially if it's a full coverage foundation, because they tend to be more kind of on the dry side, or matte side, I should say. So the product we're going to test out today is a foundation. So it is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Foundation. So this is supposed to be a 2-in-1 foundation plus concealer. Now, I will give you some info on this. I'm actually going to check my phone and see if I can find out exactly how many shades there are in this, because I know they've updated it recently. So just give me 1 minute. All right, so I have my phone out here. You guys aren't going to be able to see that, but I have my phone out. I'm on their website. So there's currently 23 shades of this foundation, which isn't too bad. I know they recently added lighter shades because the lightest shade was vanilla, which was creamy vanilla. It was 01, and it was super dark. I've seen so many people review it, and it was so freaking dark. So I didn't even bother buying it at that point. They have since added 3 shades. They added 00 Light Natural, 00B Light, and the shade I have is 00A, and this is Porcelain, which is the lightest shade of the foundation. So what it says about it. So I'm just going to read the back of it because it does give most of the claims on the back of the bottle. So it's supposed to be a medium to full coverage foundation, lightweight, oil-free formula, which is great, of course, if you are oily skinned. It is long-wearing, water-resistant, and sweat-proof, and it does come with the typical 1 fluid ounce or 30 mils of product. I do really like the packaging on this. I like the ombre, but I like that you can actually see the shade, and on the bottom you can kind of get like a true shade match, which I really like this. This one is a little bit more of the cool, neutral to cool toned, which is good for me because a lot of the other shades I've heard are very yellow, and yellow just does not work on my skin. So I was really excited about that. I decided to pick up the lightest shade because I thought it would match me the best, and I did hear that this foundation oxidizes a bit, but I guess we will kind of see in the video if I find that it does. But yeah, I do like the packaging. It's nice and heavy. It's glass. It does have a pump on it, which is great as well. Now, I've seen so many people rave about this. One person in particular is a bigger YouTuber, and that would be Laura Lee. I know this is one of her favorite drugstore foundations. And my dogs are barking. So yeah, I mean, I like the packaging of the foundation. I think it's really nice. We're going to see if the claims are true on this. Now, one of the reasons I didn't originally buy this is because it was described as a very full coverage foundation. I typically steer away because I do have normal to dry skin, and I typically do not like a full coverage foundation. It just doesn't sit on my skin well. It clings generally to dry patches. There's very few that don't. Two that I really do not like are the Tarte Amazonian Clay foundation as well as the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. Those just pull at my skin. They make me look like I have a mask on, and I just don't like the finish of those. So I'm really hoping this doesn't do that, and I hope that I actually like this. I will try to do a wear test. I'll probably just come on at the end of the night because it is later. It's like 3:30 or 4 in the afternoon, which is ridiculous, I know. But, you know, it's just after the holidays, and this is my last day off, so I thought, you know, I would just wait to get ready. I wasn't even going to do my makeup, but I thought I'd do this video. So we're going to go ahead and get into the video and application on this, and you guys can kind of see what it looks like. I might zoom you in a little bit more. So if you want to see that, just keep watching. All right, so I have my very not cleaned brush that I like to use, which is kind of gross. I need to wash this. I am so bad at washing brushes. I just hate doing it. Does that sound bad? I know it's bad and it's probably unhygienic, but this needs to be washed, and I really need to do it soon. I have brush cleaner. I have a brush pad. I am just lazy and have not done it. But anyways, regardless of that point, this is the brush I'm going to be using. This is just a BH Cosmetics number 2 brush. It is from the Carnival collection. It's just a flat top kabuki brush, or flat top buffer brush, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty densely packed. I love this brush. I've been using it a ton. So I'm just going to take a little bit and I'm going to pump it out. Usually I put this on my face, but I'm going to pump it out onto the foundation brush. All right, so I did put a fair amount on there. Now this does look to be like a thicker kind of consistency. If you can see that, it's not sinking into the brush at all. So I'm going to get in as close as I can, and we're going to go in on this side first. So I'm just going to dab this a little bit all over my face. I have a feeling I'm going to have to work this though quick, so we'll just kind of evenly spread it, and then we're going to buff it in. And hopefully this like comes out on camera that it's like matching my skin. It may be a little bit light, but that's okay. We're going to roll with it. I'm going to use this even up on my eyes, since it's supposed to be like a foundation and concealer. So far so good. So we're going to go up on my forehead. This is the area that I sometimes get some issues, is up on my forehead area. So we'll just, and don't mind my brows either because I haven't done them. So I hope you guys like had a good Christmas. Like I had a pretty good Christmas. I got lots of stuff. I was thinking about doing like a what I got for Christmas video, but I kind of haven't decided if I want to do that yet. But because I got quite a bit and it would be really hard to show you guys everything I got on camera. So I like to always use a brush. That's just a preference. Like you will never barely see me use a sponge, just because for me, I just like brushes better, which maybe you can tell by the use of this brush. I'm gonna blend that down my neck. Always blend your foundation down your neck just in case it doesn't match. But this one is matching my neck actually pretty perfectly. You might not be able to tell on camera, but it really is. So I'm hoping it doesn't oxidize too much. Alright, so that is one application. Now, I do have lines on my forehead, which you can definitely still like see, which I always find with like full coverage foundations, they kind of like sink into these lines and like down here as well. So I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll see. It's definitely like, I would say pretty full coverage for me. I would probably add like maybe a little bit more just around this area, but I'm not going to add too much because I don't want to start looking cakey. So I'm just going to put a little bit more on my brush. And we'll put a little bit here and here. I always sometimes put a little bit on my cheeks because I do have redness sometimes in this area. It's not too bad there right now. So we're gonna blend that all in. I'll do a little bit just up along my hairline. And I always like when I'm buffing foundation like this, especially full coverage, I try to like push it into my skin. I just find it gives like a better finish to your face if you do that, instead of kind of like pulling it all over your skin and getting it streaky, because that can happen, especially I find with full coverage foundations on my skin type. Make sure I get my nose. One area I always miss is like right here. I'm so bad with that. And I always make sure. So far it's not too bad. Like, it's pretty full coverage for sure. I think I do look a bit ghostly, like more on camera, but I think it's the lighting because I am pretty light in general. So I'm going to actually put some concealer on, not very much, just a little bit like under my eye area. And I want to see how it kind of works with the foundation. So the one that I always use is the, and it's getting pretty empty already, which I hate that this doesn't have more product, but this is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. And I believe the shade I use is Fair Neutral 10. So you can see the color better there. So I'm just going to put that on right now. If I'm looking over here, it's because my mirror is like over here. So please don't mind that. I'm just going to put a little bit on. I don't want to go too ham. I really like this concealer because I find that it's like a little bit hydrating, which I tend to like. And I'm not going to put any more on my eyes. I'll put a little bit down my nose and here. And here, and just like a couple dots on my forehead. If I put too much on my forehead, I know it's going to go cakey and gross, so I don't want to do that. So this is my favorite concealer right now too, by the way. So if you guys have watched me, you know that, but this blends so good on my skin. You'll see that. I just use the same foundation brush. And yeah, that's just how I like to apply my concealer, but you don't have to do that at all. You can do whatever you want. I guess I'm blending a little bit onto my eyes. This concealer goes pretty far as well. So if you like a decently, I'd say a medium coverage foundation that spreads really well and it keeps your under eyes like more hydrated, I would go for the ColourPop one. I like it better than Shape Tape, like by far. And you can already see like the difference under my eyes. Like, it's like night and day when I put concealer on. I just like to brighten up under that area because I do get a little bit of darkness under those areas. So, and now I'm just going to throw on some powder, and then I'm actually going to go off camera, do the rest of my makeup, and then come back. So for powder, I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Powder. I've been really loving this, and I know people have been raving about this. I just purchased it. I got the shade, it's just the loose finishing powder, and I got the shade 05 Fair, so I got the lightest shade because I typically like to use this like under my eye areas to bake, and I do lightly set my face, but this one just looks the best. I like to have something light underneath my eyes. So I already have a little bit out, it just has a sifter. And I'm going to use this Tarte, I don't know what brush this is, but it's like a dual-ended brush. Also needs to be cleaned. So I always use this side to set my face, and then I use this side for underneath my eyes. So I'm going to grab a generous amount. So I have about that much on my brush. And we're just going to go underneath my eye area. And I like to just like go back and forth. I usually put some on the top of my eyes. I'm not going to be doing like heavy makeup today, so don't expect me to come back with like full glam because I'm definitely not. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Just lightly here and on my forehead, not too much. I do around my nose and like my smile lines because I have hella smile lines. And almost every foundation falls into those, so I'm not going to judge it too much if this one does. We'll give my face just a light dusting of powder. I'm not baking today, so we're not going to, like I said, I'm not going to go full glam. Alright guys, so that is my base done, so I'm going to go off camera really quick, and then I will pop back on once I have my full face done. Alright guys, so I am back. So I have my makeup all finished. I did a pretty like quick, easy look. I didn't want to put on too much. I just really wanted to test this foundation out. So as you can see, if I can zoom you in just like a little, you can kind of see how everything looks. Now, I do have some creasing right here. I do, like I said, I tend to get that, especially with any full coverage foundation, which kind of sucks. We'll see how my smile lines do throughout the day, but so far it's looking pretty good. My under eyes look pretty good. All my powders definitely blended well with the foundation, so that is always good. So we'll zoom you back out. Well, not too far. We'll zoom you right there. All right, so so far I like it. I actually think that it blended nicely on my skin. It wasn't definitely too like cakey. It didn't feel like it was pulling at my skin. It glided on pretty easily, and I actually kind of like the feel of it right now. I don't feel like it's heavy like a lot of other full coverage foundations. I would say it is definitely medium at first when you apply it, and then it goes full coverage, but it's easy to build. And as I said, my concealer went on well with it. The primer water, I always use this, so I can't tell you if it's going to work well with other primers. I will have to test it out more. But so far, I really like it. I like the way that it's looking, other than I do have kind of like forehead lines. But like I said, that does happen to me with more medium to full coverage foundations. As you can see, I do have those there. But that's all right, guys. So I am actually going to go off. I will come back at the end of the night and just tell you guys my final thoughts on this foundation. I'll probably come back at the end of the night where it is so late, as I mentioned previously. But yeah, if you guys want to see that, just stay tuned and I will see you in a bit. Hey guys, so I am back. So it has been probably about 2 hours or so since I applied this foundation. I thought I would just hop on and do like a little 2-hour check-in, and then at the end of the night I would do one as well. So far it is holding up pretty well. Still kind of like I do have some creasing on my forehead area. I'll see if I can get you in a little bit closer. Now I do get a little bit of cakiness up along here. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. That is something that happens to me fairly typically with foundation, but I did notice that this is a heavier type of foundation, of course. Now as far as the rest of my face, down along my nose area, let's see if I can kind of get my nose out of the way here. So down along my nose area, it's not looking too bad, and in the crease, it's not like creasing or anything. My smile lines are actually looking pretty good, which I'm pretty happy about, and down like along this area, the bridge of my nose, those are areas that I do have trouble with on occasion. So I'll zoom you back out a little bit. All right, so I got you zoomed out again. So yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. It doesn't feel, it's not tacky or anything. I did, of course, set it with powder, so that helped. Now, this is a foundation that dries down fairly quickly, but so far I'm liking how it looks on my skin. I think it looks pretty smooth, especially like on my cheek areas. And like I said, the only place I have a bit of cakiness is on my forehead, which is typical for me. So I'm not too worried about it, and my nose area so far looks pretty good. I have a runny nose generally all the time. Like even if I get cold, it's runny. If I eat, it's runny. So that's an area that I tend to break up foundation. So we'll see later on. But I did just have something to eat, and it's still looking good around my mouth area. So that's always a plus, a thumbs up, a plus. But I will come back at the end of the night, and I will keep you guys posted. I'm back for my final check-in. It is like the end of the day, and I just want to take my makeup off. So it's about 10 o'clock. I've probably had this on for a little under 8 hours, but I did put this on late, so I knew it wasn't going to be like 12-hour wear. I'll have to update you on that as I keep wearing it, but I've had it on almost for 8 hours. It's looking pretty good. I will say, you can kind of see here, it has fallen into my smile lines. You can see that really clearly on here. It does look a little dry in the crease of my nose and up along my forehead area. I'm not sure if you can see it super well. I'm just filming on my iPhone right now for this last check-in. It has stayed on pretty well. Like, I have a little bit of fading probably around my nose area. It's like super cold here in Canada right now. In New Brunswick, it's like minus 21. I'm probably with the wind chill. It's probably like minus 30. So we're dealing with that for probably the next few days. So when I'm outside taking my dogs out, my nose gets kind of runny. So yeah, so it has broken up a little bit there, but I'm not going to hold that too much against the foundation. I mean, if your nose runs, that happens. It does look like a little bit has rubbed off here. I have been kind of like leaning on my hand, so that could be it as well. But overall, I think it still looks like pretty smooth other than around this area and my forehead. But everything else looks pretty good. I mean, it is a good coverage foundation. It's only 10 bucks at the drugstore. So I think it's pretty good overall, and I would recommend it to you guys. I do have, like I said, normal to dry skin, and it works fairly good on me, although right now I do have more normal skin. So if you do have super dry skin, I don't know if you would love this, just because I feel like if you had a lot of dry patches, it would end up clinging to it. So I guess it's just something you would have to try. But I do think someone with oily skin or combo skin or even normal skin, this foundation would work for. But yeah, overall, guys, I think this is a good foundation. I definitely would recommend it, and I am so glad to have tried it. And as I said, I'll have more of these videos. I'm going to make this a series, basically of, like I said, OG makeup that a lot of people have, you know, raved about that I haven't tried. So this is my first edition, and yeah, so I would recommend it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.